Hello, Razorpay design team. I am Krishna. This is my submission regarding the assignment round for product designer role. I have compiled all my research into 20 easy to understand slides so that you don't get bored watching my presentation. Hope you'll like it. Moving forward, I follow something known as linear design process: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and final UI. So, understanding the user. I did a qualitative user research with 9 Spotify podcast users aged between 16 to 45. I also researched a lot of survey data and specific reports available on the internet, and I compiled them into percentages. User insights while listening. Learning and entertainment were the top two reasons why users dived into podcast, 88% and 87% respectively. Users often multitask while listening to podcasts, common during commuting, household chores, exercise in gym, walking. But 53% of the population are focused listeners. Gen Z generally prefers video content or video podcast rather than just listening to audios. After listening, reflection and sharing. So listeners feel connected to the host emotionally. 68% of users discuss it with peers and recommend them to watch the podcast too. They revisit multiple times. Their behavior changes. They go to social media and follow the host. Coming back to the pain points. So the core pain points were: highlight parts of a podcast, sharing specific snippets, taking and revisiting notes. I found some more pain points through my research, which were: summary of the podcast episode should be in the text, no save tab for notes or specific section, not able to share a video clip format of podcast on Reels. So generally what we do is we just take a clip and we post it on Instagram. That was not possible. Can't control my phone while multitasking, so there should be something known as hands free, like Alexa. So possible solutions after brainstorming and card sorting. So I did a lot of brainstorming. I have a lot of pages here. Highlighting and snippets, note taking and revisiting, podcast summaries, saved items tab, reel sharing, note reminders, and hands-free access. So you can actually go into the detail afterwards, but this is what I want to justify here. I got this. So Spotify has more than 675 million monthly active users. Podcast has around 30% of Spotify's user traffic. I take this metric as base for my design and product decisions in terms of feature complexity and priority. Moving forward, we have information architecture when a user revisits. So you can go through this. I'll be skipping this part. So coming back to the solutions, highlighting a specific timestamp. A user will highlight a specific part because he believes it is important and he might refer it afterwards. Highlight feature should be standing out, but it should not overwhelm the overall UI. Then comes taking notes. Based on user research, 90% of the time a user wants to write a note because they heard something worth saying. So highlight is the foundation, note is the meaning you attach to it. So why not merge both of them? Third would be sharing specific clips and snippets. People screenshot timestamps and send to their friends. They say, ki, watch this at this particular time. So the behavior is already existing. We are just removing the friction points by combining all these solutions. So why create four different kinds of solutions and four different kinds of feature when you can merge all of them into one perfect feature? That's what I tried to do in this project. Fourth would be summary of podcast because it helps in quick decision making, better recalling, better shareability with your friends. A lot of users multitask, going to gym, household, as we discussed earlier. Highlight feature can be accessed by voice commands too. That's what I'm assuming right now because Alexa has the capability to actually access Spotify. So it can also make highlights itself. So this is one of the solution I was thinking of, but didn't go much deeper into it. This is how I work with my pages, papers, card sorting, whatever you call research. I do all the things in the paper first. So this is the user flow of a daily podcast listeners, daily active user, you can say. Moving forward, we have the final UI, the highlight icon. When a user clicks on it, a pop-up will open where a user can select the time frame he wants to save. Just below that is the add notes part, where a user can add his notes. Why is he saving this particular session of podcast? Below that is the transcript. Transcript, whatever the subtitles are in the clip or whatever the host is saying in the clip would automatically come into the transcript, which is also shareable. Then user clicks on save. When user clicks on save, there will be a small toast saved to your podcast highlights. I'm not making a very fancy UI here by creating a new section known as your highlights in this particular podcast because I have gone through the research of Kindle and they mentioned that users generally write notes 2 to 3 times in one article. So that was the base of my research. Going ahead, we also have a share icon where a user clicks and the priority is given to the video format first. So a video format would appear. Same case, you can select the time frame here also and directly upload to any platform you want. This is the flow for a returning user. User will come on your library, will go to the podcast filter, he'll apply the podcast filter, your podcast highlights. Episode wise distribution is done here. Search bar for easy finding, then filters. Selects one episode. In the episode also, I've mentioned how many clips are there, when is it updated. So whenever a user clicks on it, he will find further segregation in terms of the clips. So whenever he clicks on a certain clip after following all these steps, he'll land on this page, which is creating a perfect scenario for all required features. So once a user has saved this snippet or saved this particular memory of his, he can actually access the clip, he can access notes, he has the transcript, he can share it with his friends. So all the four features that we were talking about, which were our pain points, actually get solved in this one screen itself. So you can just go through once. Also, user can watch the full episode if he clicks on that. The AI tools I have used here were Grok, ChatGPT, Ready, Bolt. I was trying to prototype it on Bolt, but unfortunately that wasn't possible because my credits got burnt. So I followed Spotify's design principles in terms of simplicity and resolving complex issues in an easy way, which will ultimately benefit the product and tech team too, because four features versus one perfect feature will always save time. Also, really appreciate your patience for holding on to my presentation and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I hope I clear this round and will be waiting eagerly for your feedback.